A new survey has come out talking about how the media, the trust in media right now, continues to erode. Now, this is a research from Gallup and the Knight Foundation. They started this back in 2018 and published the inaugural American Views Report as part of their Trust, Media, and Democracy Research Program. The study is of America's attitudes towards the news media and its role in democracy. And in 2018, at that time, 2 years ago, they found that while Americans valued the role of news media as an important institution in a free society, they did not believe it was fulfilling its democratic roles well. Political party was the primary determining factor driving Americans' opinions of trust in the media. So we move along. 2020, 20,000 U.S. adults were surveyed and found deepening pessimism and further partisan entrenchment about how the news media delivers on its democratic mandate for factual news, trustworthy information. Many Americans feel the media's critical role of informing and holding those in power accountable is comprised by increasing bias. As such, Americans have not only lost confidence in the ideal of an objective media, they believe such news organizations actively support the partisan divide. At the same time, Americans have not lost sight of the value of news. Strong majorities uphold the ideal that the news media is fundamental to a healthy democracy. I'm going to pull up a couple of graphs that they put in this story. America's perception of political bias in news. To what extent do you see political bias in news coverage? So here's what it is over the last 12 years. It's gone a great deal from 31 to 49%. A fair amount, 31 to 37%. So again, from 60% of a bias they felt like either fair or great amount, all the way up to 86%. An 86%, for the most part, distrust in news. That's disturbing. But that's where we're going. Regardless of the political narrative, it's because of the fact that it is about clickbait. It is about ratings. It is about revenue. And now it's not even about trying to just offer proper news, opinion, editorial, nicely laid out, and having information when it happens all over the world without any kind of bias. We can't even get that. It's really, people don't believe that news can be used to profit from if you just do it right. If you just give proper objective journalism. People don't think there's a career in it, and people don't think there's any money in it at all. So that's where we're going. The Inside Edition National Enquirer tabloid route that the elite media establishment is doing right now. It's disheartening. This is not what I went over 30 years ago to go ahead and get into. Over 30 years ago, this is what I wanted to do. And a little more than 25 years ago, I went to college for it. And this is a shame. But that's where we are. I never thought it would get to this point, but look at that. It's incredible. So party affiliation remains the key predictor of attitudes about the news media. Republicans express more negative sentiments on every aspect compared to Democrats and independents. Attitudes also differ by age, likely a reflection in part of generational differences in news consumption, obviously before internet and with internet. America's perception is political bias by political party. This is still not good because, look, it still comes down to the fact that there is a distrust. Look at this. When you look at a great deal of bias by political party, I mean, either which way, for Americans overall, we said 86%. If you break it down, that's, okay, 79% Democrats, 88% independents, and 94% Republicans. So they try to break that down the way they do. Great deal. Okay, yeah, sure. A great deal shows 49% of Americans overall, independents 53%, Republicans 72%. But it's still, you add that together, just the fact that there's bias, and it's a genuine amount of bias, 86%, and even Democrats have to admit, 79% of them know that there is a good amount or a great amount of political bias. So this is not a partisan issue about the media. It's all in one direction. And it's not even a part of people that might consider themselves Democrats. It's because the agenda is not even democratic. It's not even about what America and the Constitution is based on. I mean, it's a state-controlled media by a state that's not even running the country. Let's just be honest about it. It's somebody else that's running this. It's It is corporations that are people with real money and power that are controlling the narrative. They want what needs to be reported, and it's not serving the public. And I could tell you stories every day that I look at the news that is from other sources that get talked about. And I can tell you, if I got to go look for news, I can't go to any major news outlet, any of the alphabet letters. No. If I want to go ahead and find out something, maybe BBC, maybe I go and find it from Reuters and the Associated Press. But really, where are we getting it from? That's how bad it is. That's really, really scary. And Americans suspect inaccuracies of reporting are designed to push a specific agenda. This, we already knew it was biased before, but now it's gotten so bad that and this is the biggest problem. I mean, you want to call your bias out, please do. Just let it be known so that people can identify with it, and at least they know, and it's not like you're, hiding behind some kind of curtain, and we don't know who you are and what your real agenda is. But we know what it is. Just admit to it. Just cop up to it. That's what we ask all these major mainstream news outlets to do. You might as well just do it now, because you can't be objective anymore. Just admit it. Just admit that you're not. But here's the biggest problem: inaccuracies of reporting, thus the fake news tag. Americans perceive inaccurate news to be intentional, either because the reporter is misrepresenting the facts, 54%, or making them up entirely, 28%. Nearly 8 in 10 Americans, 79%, say news organizations need to distrust, or trying to persuade people to adopt a certain viewpoint. They're trying to change minds here. They're trying to sway mindsets, thus panic porn, thus, instilling fear, gaslighting, and instigating violence. This is what the media is today. The mainstream media, elite media establishment, that's what they're doing right now. They are not serving the public. They need to be called out on it. 8% of Americans say that social media are trying to ruin the country. That might not be a big deal, but again, I don't think the media, they have other people that are trying to, that would probably be doing something to cause the country some harm. But their inaccuracies, their ineptness, whether on purpose or not, it's hurting what's going on. The purpose of news is not here anymore. News, as far as I'm concerned now, is nothing but a tarnished 4-letter word. That's what it's become. It has become the accumulation of garbage. There is still local news. There are still citizen journalists that are out in the field that are doing the jobs that these people with the resources and the revenue and the manpower that could be doing the right thing. But they're not allowed to. And if you're not, and I'm telling you, I see people talking about cancel culture, the likes of Barry Weiss and the reporter from MSNBC now talking about it. And there are others that say the same thing. Well, here's the thing. Don't talk about cancel culture. Get out of it. Again, it's a toxic environment. If you are a real journalist, you do not want to be in one of these outlets. You do not want to be playing up a narrative that you do not believe is proper journalism. If you want to go and do it because you feel like you like the narrative, you like the direction you're going, you like the perks of being popular and powerful and having money, then go right ahead to your heart's content. But to the real journalists out there, if you're stuck in a bad environment and you're not able to do your damn job, then get out. And I'll talk to you next time.